Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Left Behind Survivor difficulty video walkthrough. Really important thing to note there, if you shoot the guy on the right first, the guy on the left doesn't see him and you can kill them both. Another important thing to say, if you let the guy on the right keep hitting that padlock, eventually he's going to open the door and he's going to kill Joel, and it's an immediate kill state. You will fail immediately. I found out the hard way. But now that we've killed those two guys who were banging, the only people left are a handful of dudes coming through that shop I mentioned on the previous video, and then just the stragglers that... I don't really understand how the AI works on this game. Sometimes they're exactly where you expect them to be, other times they're just not. So there's going to be a lot of RNG to this, which unfortunately you cannot control, and that can be some of the most frustrating parts, but just be as tentative and as stealthy as you can. This will work out. And make sure you've got a brick. The brick is the ultimate safety tool, and this guy must have seen me because he knows exactly where I am. So I hit him with a brick, I stab him in the gut, and then I immediately look around to try and get another brick because bricks are just all powerful. There's my brick replacement. And I think another dude runs for me and allows me to get another cheeky kill. Like on this sequence I was actually playing not with a headset on, and if I'd had a headset on it'd have served me really well. Because if you've got surround sound in your headset, you can hear the enemies before they get close, because the sound on the game is really well designed. But I had to rely on my eyes, unfortunately, because the sound from my TV is perfectly fine for a TV, but it's still kind of useless for precision. If this is what I think it is, I think he's behind me. Look at that bullshit! What was that? He was like some crazy stalking rapist. So I've got a couple of theories about what just happened then. I think there's a possibility that the AI is less aggressive when you don't have the camera on them. Because there's no reason for him to not have just gangbanged me then, because I die in one punch. He could have ran up to me, punched me once, and I will die, because my life is... I haven't healed since the beginning of the game. Even though I've got a med pack. Just because I didn't want to, fuck that shit. But very strange, that section. So you can imagine my surprise when I didn't die, when I realised that he was essentially close enough to lick my back. And right now, what you're waiting for is for Ellie to say something. Because when everybody's dead, she'll say something. And then when you go up to the door, it's going to trigger the final attack of the level. And this is a forced fight, and it's really tricky. So when you're ready for it, come over here, and it's going to give you a checkpoint. And then you're going to get assailed by about 5 or 6 guys. So what I do here is I immediately run to the right. I run all the way to that little alcove below the stairs. The reason I do this is it was the first thing I tried and it worked. There is literally no greater strategy than that. It's a cheeky corner. I like cheeky corners, and I divide and conquer the enemies, and it works. So as it stands, I've got quite a lot of pistol rounds, although I don't like using the pistol. There's a really good strategy with the handgun, or any gun in general, is to shoot them to stun them and then execute them. But I don't think you're going to see much of that in this guide, because I get kind of lucky with bottles and bow shots and things of that nature. So there's a few checkpoints, and the checkpoints on this game work in a strange fashion. They work when you kill people. So every time you kill somebody, the game can sometimes checkpoint. I don't know if there's any specific amount of people you need to kill, but it happens a lot. And make sure you check both left and right on here, because if you don't, you'll get snuck up on. But you'll notice right there, I'm really anxious with my pistol to get shit done. So they look like headshots to me, but apparently not. Which is another reason why I don't use the pistols, because I'm pretty crap with them. But now there's only a handful of dudes left, but these guys have guns, and the gun guys are annoying. So I see him, hit him with a bottle, stab him, and then immediately get the hell out of there, pick up the bullets, and I've got 6 bullets in the gun, 1 arrow left. Just keep dividing and conquering, divide and conquer. If you've got balls or you're insane, you can run around the room and, you know, just hunt them instead of letting them come to you. But I've always kind of been more of a, you know, let them come to me type of guy with games, because it seems to work better. So this guy doesn't have a weapon. Oh, this is me showing you the stun into execute. It was a messy one because I didn't need to shoot him that many times, but I panicked and as you can imagine. You play worse when you panic. And here's a dude with a very big rifle. And I've got a cheeky video of this guy. He's amazing. I hope people enjoy the video as much as I did. It's only a 30-second silly video, but I enjoyed it a lot. And I think you're going to hear somebody say infected, because a shit ton of infected turn up, and what happens is the infected here, this is another random element, either the humans will kill the infected, or the infected will kill the humans, or a little bit of both. But if you notice, a clicker's killing the sniper I was just looking at there. So the clicker kills him and runs away. He's dropped a rifle, which is pretty much a one-shot kill if you hit them right in the chest or the face. And all I'm doing here is I'm waiting for it to go quiet to see who survives this little massacre. And these are my favourite parts of The Last of Us, aside from the expositional stuff and the discovery stuff. Just how tense and visceral the fights feel. So what I'm doing here is I'm moving forward, thinking that we're coming close to the end of the encounter. And I'm honest with this because it's true. There's two guys left. There's him, who's now dead, and then there's a sniper. And you'll probably feel the same way when you're playing, because you can kind of get a gut feeling when there's only a handful of guys left, because it gets real quiet. So I think he's upstairs, so I run all the way up this kind of circuitous route, and it turns out he's downstairs inspecting the body of the dude I've just killed. And something really strange happens, because I'm completely silent when I walk like this to people, unless they're really close and unless you're unlucky and unless they see you. So watch this. See him? He's just there. And now, for some reason, he gets possessed like he knows exactly where I am. And he runs all the way up the stairs I ran up. Like, what is that bullshit? And then I chase him. And I'm hoping to sneak up on him. And it doesn't work. So, a little word of advice here. Instead of trying to sneak up to somebody and stab them, just brick people. It's so much easier. And if anybody's taking this as a life lesson, don't brick people. There's no reason. It's just dangerous. And right there. Thank God that guy missed. And if everyone is dead, Ellie will say something. That means that you've killed everybody and you've beaten the DLC. Now I've got 5 bullets, but I can't use them, which is a nice bit of irony. And I believe that was a no damage run. I've only just noticed. So yeah, guys. The only thing left now is a flashback sequence that involves running away from some infected. So this is the last segment of the guide. And I kind of knew where this was going. I just didn't expect it to end so abruptly. I thought there was going to be a little bit more to this. I expected it to be about 5 hours long. But I'm always over-ambitious when it comes to DLC. And even though this is only a 2-hour experience at best, it took me, a good example of this, guys, knowing exactly where to go on survival difficulty, it took me about an hour to record it, maybe an hour and a half. I was eating my dinner, though, while I did it. Luckily enough, it was just finger food, so I could just keep, you know, grabbing when cutscenes were happening and things. But you have to prop that gate open like that. Once you've done it, your buddy's going to shoot that dude in the face. She's going to shoot this lock, and then from this point onwards, it's all pretty reactionary, and if you react wrong, you're going to instantly die. It's just, you die so fast on this difficulty. So here, if you don't crouch, they'll pull you out of this little vent area. This dude here, this is bullshit, this. You'll notice how a couple minutes back I mentioned that this was a no damage run, or it seemed like it was. That is unavoidable damage in essentially a cinematic cutscene. And a buddy of mine called Big Benedict, I'll never forget. He made a guide for Razor's Edge, and there's a particular level on that game where these people who are on fire or injured will jump you. And you can dodge them, but it's really tricky to do so. And I think it checkpoints afterwards, so it's not like you can even try again. But suffice to say, it feels like it's mandatory damage. And it takes a lot off you if you don't resist. And he made a fantastic point, pretty much saying how much bullshit mandatory cutscene damage is, and it truly is. And I understand it for the notion of the story, but look at Metal Gear Solid. On Metal Gear Solid 3, on Metal Gear Solid 4, and maybe even on Metal Gear Solid 2, I'm not too sure, you can hold buttons during mandatory damage sections in cutscenes and take no damage. It lessens the tension by nothing. It does nothing to the immersion factor. And it gives you life. Like, look at this! I could have a turbo pad. I even buffered these taps. I was tapping before he got to me, and it still wasn't enough to take no damage, so there you go. A no damage run ruined by mandatory damaged. There you go, folks. That was Survivor difficulty. I hope you enjoyed the content. That is a pretty fucking visceral throat slit, and I have been Sarah from 17. So thanks for watching, and you take care now.